Hey guys, welcome to Shower Talk with Allie, where no topic is off limit. Hope you guys are doing really well today. Before I dive into today's topic, which I'm sure you're wondering what I spent 60 grand on my ass means. If you could remember to like and subscribe and hit the little bell on the channel, that would be great. So let's dive right in. Okay, what does it mean I spent $60,000 on my ass? Well, as you know, I'm a quadriplegic, and what comes along with that for many of us are pressure sores. It's a dreaded word, pressure sores, PS, yes. And I've spent, and I've talked about this some, and I'll talk about it more, I spent a year in bed with pressure sores that have gone down to my bone, and I've had multiple surgeries, and that's where I met my husband. And insurance, I added up the costs on an Excel sheet because of the battle I've been fighting for medically necessary equipment. That's, I guess insurance is calling it exercise equipment. I'm calling it durable medical equipment, meaning that it has a medical purpose. And if you with enough doctor's notes and physical therapists, it's medically necessary. But when I spent this year in bed and I added up the costs, so the real cost was more towards like $180,000. But when Blue Cross goes in network with a provider, they agree to pay a certain amount. So Blue Cross physically only paid out $60,000, but the providers billed more like in the hundreds of thousands. And that was for 2 surgeries, wound vacuums on my butt. Another story I'll get into. It's like my tail. I'll get into that one. And when I spent this year in bed and I got out of bed, no kidding, for the first time. So you guys see how great, like, I move my arms. Well, my triceps are paralyzed, so this muscle. My upper body works pretty well, except from the boobs down. And my hands are paralyzed, but I can lift my wrists up, but not the other way around. So I can do this, and it's like, wow, you're in really good shape, but you're paralyzed on 80% of your body. But when I got out of bed for the first time after a year, seriously, I could barely hold a cup up. I couldn't even do this. I could barely lift my arm up. It had been like I was just paralyzed again for the first time. And I need caregivers around the clock all the time anyway to do bowel and bladder and dressing and hair and the whole 9 yards. And so I kind of made it my mission. I don't like to say fight with insurance companies, but kind of shed light on the injustices within the insurance system for those of us that are severely disabled that need a little extra help, but we're not written into these insurance policies. Well, what does that mean? So a battle I fought in 2020, kind of ongoing, and is for something called the VitaGlide. It's a rowing machine. It's a $3,200 piece of equipment, and you get multiple appeals within Blue Cross or any insurance company. And if they deny you a final time, you can go above their head to the Department of Insurance. And I explain all this, and I have a website on it, which I'll share with you guys. And, they can overturn Blue Cross's decision. So the challenge I have is that with the VitaGlide rowing machine, $3,200, small company that makes it, awesome people, they don't have the money like so many other companies to get a medical code. You need a medical code associated with a piece of equipment for insurance to really take you seriously, leaving aside whether it's in network, they'll pay all the benefits, or it's out of network. And but larger companies that spend tens of thousands of dollars on proving the medical efficacy and necessity and how some, a piece of workout equipment might help somebody. For example, there's a bike called the RT300. It's just a bike, but it has electrical stimulation pads on it. And you can hook it up to your legs or wherever in your body to stimulate, and your legs can actually, you paralyzed legs bike. And if you're have a little bit of muscle function below your level of injury, I don't. You can get stronger. You have functional improvement. It's amazing. But at first it was just some electrical stimulation pads and a bike. Somebody came up with an idea. It was a great idea that it really does help with muscle tone and spasticity, like random muscle spasms. It helps with blood pressure and pressure sores. And a lot of money was put into the research of this piece of equipment. But it just started out as a bike with some electro pads, and somebody had an idea. And over time, now it's out of network and they get denied a lot by insurance. But I had this bike approved. Insurance denied me in 2015, 16. a new bike and I went above their head to the Department of Insurance. It took me a year and a half, but you know what, damn it, I won this $30,000 bike. I don't think Blue Cross was particularly happy to fork over a $30,000 check, but why did I win this piece of medical equipment? Because they said it was medically necessary, because so much research had been done on the benefits of it. Okay, so now getting back to the VitaGlide, just a simple piece of rowing machine, pretty cool, not break the bank, not 30,000, just 3,200. But not a lot of research has gone into this. So when I was fighting for this last year, starting in the summertime, they basically told me that this is a medical exclusion and it doesn't go under your covered benefits because it's quote physical exercise equipment. I tried to get it put into durable medical equipment that it's medically necessary for me, and because I can't go to a gym and the equipment's not adaptive and pay $100 an hour for a special spinal cord injury gym like so many of us can, that exercise, different forms of exercise, and I'm not talking about exercise has to be expensive all the time. I have wrist weights that are 20 bucks that I just kind of lift up in my chair and I kind of do these motions, but that's for resistance. I tried the hand cycle, which is cardio, which everybody needs cardio, but I dislocate my shoulder a lot from spinal surgeries. This rowing machine for me, in my specific situation, I'm sure many others who have shoulder injuries, is proven, but they don't have like all of the research because they don't have tens of thousands of dollars, that it not only makes me stronger and cardio, but I can now lift my arms and move up. I mean, I distinctly remember spending, oh my gosh, all of that time in bed and I couldn't even lift my arms up like this. I was weak and I was feeble. And the fact that we need to change how these insurance companies think, right? So 20 years ago, or whatever power chair wheelchairs came out, they basically just paid for the chassis, the bottom part, the motorized part. And then you had to pay for the tilt function and the recline function. Now, a lot of money's been put into it that when you tilt back in your power wheelchair, you change the weight of pressure on your butt, which reduces pressure sores, which reduces hospital stays, which reduces, bills for health insurance companies. You can win those. Well, those are, they just come standard if you're paralyzed from a certain level down or have a certain disability. Well, small pieces of adaptive exercise equipment, it's almost like neurosurgery in the 1930s, right? We're still just experimenting, but somebody has to start somewhere. And people have commented to me, they said, listen, Allie, don't even try, or you know what, you shouldn't even try. You're making the system worse because it's not in your policy. So effing what? It's not in the policy. Should we not educate insurance companies what should be in the policy for the very small segment of the population that have more special needs than others? For example, a lovely lady I was working with at Blue Cross, she said, I am really sorry you're a paraplegic. Well, a paraplegic is someone who's paralyzed from the waist down. I'm paralyzed from the neck down, and I'm quadriplegic, meaning 4 of my limbs are, impaired. So I educated her in this, and she said, wow, that's really interesting. I really had no idea. I said, well, that's the point. I would love to work with the insurance departments to educate them. I know they're a for-profit business. I know they don't care about us. I know it's a bottom line, but the only way we're gonna have change is if we stand together, unite together. And this is not just about exercise equipment. Anybody's, invisible disabilities or, cancer treatments, experimental ones. People are being denied and they're dying left and right. And am I gonna die without this piece of equipment? No. If I was, you'd probably see me all over the news right now, really fighting this. But I'm trying to make a systemic change, and it may be slow. And if I inspire one person in 5 years to say, all right, I saw that thing that Allie did. I remember this chick, and she was fighting for it. And then 5 people did get together, and 10 people, and then 100 people. These are how all pieces of equipment that are, quote, medically necessary under insurance terms, they all have to be fought for. We all have to fight for something. So leaving my medical stuff aside, what are you guys fighting for? Comment below. I really want to hear some of your battles and challenges or injustices that you faced, right? Because, sometimes enough is enough. Our health insurance system is just kind of tanking as it is, and we all know this. It's not a secret. I went from paying $1,500 a year for my health insurance in 2015 to now in 2021 paying $8,500 just for a maximum out of pocket, not including a $400 or $500 a month premium. So spending nearly $15,000 a year as an individual because I don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid. But it's like you make too much to qualify, but you're not comfortable enough to, live a complete life of luxury. So, and and most people need help from their families, or they can't work, or the pain is crazy. So I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about some challenges you face with different insurance companies, because I know this is not a new story. Every time I tell this story, somebody always tells me about, something that's happened with them. And I continue to fight. I know this wasn't like the sexiest topic about sex and orgasms and husbands and all that fun jazz, but it's one that I think needs, I think it needs to bring light to, right? And so, when I did research on all these YouTube videos, I try to see the ones like 100,000 views, 5,000 views, 300 views. And sometimes they aren't the sexy topics, but they're the really interesting ones. So if you stumbled upon this one and you find it interesting and you want to join my battle and you want to join my fight and my crusade, this is like a lifelong mission for me. This is actually partially why I'm doing a lot of these YouTube channels and Instagram and social media, because I want to be able to kind of spread the word and pay it forward and help as many people as I can. As an individual basis, but also just as getting people together. I don't care what your disability is. I don't care if you don't have a disability. It doesn't matter. If you just kind of want to fight and stand up for, the little guy, that's kind of what I'm about. So with that, I am going to wish you guys a great day. If you like this topic, please comment below anything you want me to talk about, videos you want me to make. I'm here every single week. And if you like the channel, subscribe, like, ring the bell. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. And I will see you guys next time. All right, have a great one. Bye.